Music becomes appealing because of the structure it is based upon, and one of the structures that guide music creation is the scale. We all know the scale to be a succession of notes on the staff in ascending or descending order. Constructing scales can be confusing at times, especially in choosing the correct accidentals. So in this video, we will simplify things by using a 3-step system. Before we begin constructing our scales, it is important that we fully understand what a half step is, since half steps are the building blocks of all intervals in music. Half steps are the smallest playable and writable musical interval, although pitchy singers can do smaller intervals with no problems. Anyway, on the piano, a half step is determined by the distance between one piano key to the one next to it, regardless if it's black or white. In counting half steps, therefore, one must count the number of distances between the notes and not the number of notes involved in the interval. Whole steps, on the other hand, are simply 2 half steps combined. In this example, Do to Re is a whole step because it has the intervals of C to C sharp and C sharp to D. The octave comprising the notes from C to C on the piano was designed to play a major scale. This succession of whole and half steps, therefore, is the standard on all major scales, no matter where you start on the piano or on the staff. Now that we have a better understanding on what half and whole steps are, let us begin with our 3-step system in building major scales. First is to determine where to start on the staff. If you are still unfamiliar with the positions of the notes on the staff, try to master them first before getting into this exercise. Let's start from Fa or F. Consider also choosing the note in a lower range as to keep you from writing tons of leisure lines above your staff. Second is to write the entire scale ahead without the accidentals. This is an important step as it will prevent you from duplicating your notes in the process of writing. Remember that keys are enharmonic, meaning they can either be sharps or flats, thus the possibility of choosing the incorrect name. Third, use the major scale pattern to check whether the intervals in your scale satisfy the succession of whole and half steps. This pattern will also guide you whether a note in your scale needs to be raised or lowered using accidentals. In our example, all the intervals between the notes satisfy the sequence of the major scale pattern except for the interval between La to C or A to B, which is a whole step on the piano. The pattern, however, only requires a half step. In this case, therefore, the B must be lowered using a flat to correct the scale. And that is why written music in the key of F has this accidental written before the staff. This is what you call the key signature, but let's reserve that discussion in another video. As an added step to make sure you've built the correct scale, play it on the piano and listen if it is indeed a major scale. Your ears will be your judge. Hope this helps. If you want to know more about music and music history, subscribe to Vids Mused.